Welcome back, Shark Kings. It's that time of the month again where we're going to try to predict which games are going to leave PS Plus Extra. We're going to visit the blog, the PlayStation blog, from September of 2024. So let's go over them real quick, and we will try to predict which games are going to be leaving. All right, so first we're going to visit the September blog from a year ago, 2024, and we're going to go through the games really quick, and I will let you know which ones are still here and which one might leave. So first we got a day one drop, which was the PLUCKY SQUIRE. Then the rest of the games are Under the Waves, Night in the Woods, CHERNOBYLITE, Space Engineers, Road 96, highly recommend you play this one, and Ben 10. And for premium, we had Pistol Whip, Secret Agent Clank, Sky Gunner, and Mr. Mosquito. And for September of 2023, these were the games that dropped that month. These were 2 years ago, but a lot of them have already left. This one is still here. ODIN Sphere, LEIFTHRASIR. This War of Mine Final Cut. Highly recommend you play this emotional game. This one's still here. Then we have CONTRA Corps, Tales Noir, Call of the Sea, West of Dead, and a Paw Patrol game. For PlayStation Premium, all the Star Ocean games left, so all we have left is Dragon's Crown Pro. So those are the games from 1 year ago and 2 years ago that are likely to leave. If you enjoyed the short version, leave a like on the way out for the algo. For those of you sticking around, we're going to go through every game that might leave, and I'll tell you which one you should play. But don't take my opinion, it all depends on what you like. So let's get started. The first game on the list is called the PLUCKY SQUIRE. This was released in 2024. It was a day one drop for us in September of last year. The game follows the magical adventures of storybook character Jot and his friends who discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book. This is a pretty fun game because you get thrown out of the book and into the 3D world, and you get to move words around, and it's really meta, I guess. My only problem with it was a little bit too hands-holdy, and it seemed like a kid's game, but it really didn't need to be, but it was very creative. I loved playing this game. My favorite was popping in and out of the 2D world, or even destroying the 2D world with your 3D character. It was really neat. It was like Mario 64 meets Paper Mario. What a really fun twist. Next, we got Under the Waves. This was released in 2023, and it's an adventure video game where you control a professional diver who attempts to deal with his personal trauma and a job that may compromise his principles. You have to find a way back to the surface to save your life. You collect materials and craft equipment that will help you navigate further on this self-discovery expedition. It's a poetic underwater adventure about a man trying to overcome his traumatic past and save his own life, both literally and figuratively. Night in the Woods is a single-player adventure game set in a world of zoomorphic humans. The story follows a young woman named May who drops out of college and returns to her hometown to find unexpected changes. Everyone's asking her why she dropped out, and she doesn't have a clear answer. You get to reunite with your old bandmates, start a band, and solve the town's mystery. It's like a coming-of-age story, or if that's what you want to call it. She comes home from college, everyone has grown up except her. It deals with depression and a lot of things, and expectations from your parents and things like that. It's a really fun story, but the gameplay, it's just walking and talking pretty much. But the visuals are great, the mini games are great. It's a fun game to play. Chernobylite is a survival game in which the player controls Igor, a former physicist who must explore the Chernobyl exclusive zone in search of his fiancée. Most of the single-player gameplay revolves around exploring the exclusion zone, gathering supplies and tools while encountering stalkers and hostile military personnel. The player is also forced to make decisions which affect the non-linear storyline. There's also a crafting system which allows the player to craft their own equipment and weapons. Any character can die and any task can be failed. Deep in the contaminated environment also lies strange supernatural threats due to the Chernobylite created from the nuclear aftermath. It's a first-person shooter survival horror game. Space Engineers is a sandbox engineering and construction game set in outer space on planetary surface. The core gameplay revolves around designing, building, and maintaining spacecraft stations, rovers, and other machines. Either in creative mode, where you have unlimited resources, or survival mode, where you must mine materials, refine ores, and manage fuel, oxygen, and power. It's like Minecraft meets a space program. Road 96 is a first-person adventure game set in the mid to late 90s, with a fictional nation and an authoritarian country ruled by a dictatorship undergoing a potentially transformative election season. The player controls several teenagers as they attempt to flee the country through the northern border via Road 96. Each time the player's character succeeds or fails at crossing the border, they assume control of a new teenager attempting to cross the border. Each crossing attempt advances the overarching story, culminating in a finale set on September 9th, the election day. The decisions made by the player during previous attempts are reflected and referenced during each new attempt. It's a great game to play. It reminded me of Life is Strange 2 with all the road tripping and all the people acting bad towards you, the teenagers. Highly recommend you play it. It was the game of the month last month. And the last game from 2024 was Ben 10. It's up to you to save the world, take on some of Ben's most infamous enemies, unlock and transform into all of Ben's incredible alien forms, discover an exciting new story across 3 episodes, and use each alien's unique combat moves to defeat enemies, solve fun puzzles, and save the day. So that concludes all the September 2024 games that were introduced to PS Plus Extra. Let's go to 2023. ODIN Sphere LEIFTHRASIR is a lavishly made action RPG originally released in 2016. It's an enhanced reimagining of the 2007 PS2 game ODIN Sphere. It's set in a Norse mythology-inspired fantasy world, and the game unfolds through 5 interconnected storylines, each told from the perspective of a different playable character, ranging from the Valkyrie princess to a cursed rabbit prince. The gameplay blends side-scrolling, beat-em-up combat with RPG progression. You chain aerial combos, unleash flashy special attacks, power up skills, grow plants for healing food, and craft potions. It streamlines many of the original slower, grind-heavy systems, making battles faster and more fluid, and the stage is less repetitive. It's a mix of fast-paced action, gorgeous art direction, and tragic interwoven storytelling. This War of Mine is a war survival video game. But unlike other war-themed video games, this game focuses on the civilian experience of war rather than the frontline combat. Characters have to make many difficult decisions in order to survive their everyday dangers and struggles. There are various endings for each character depending on the decisions made in the game. You control a group of civilian survivors hiding inside a damaged house. The main goal of the game is to stay alive during the war using the tools and materials that the player can gather. Most of the characters do not have a military background nor any kind of survival experience, so they will require constant intervention by the player in order to stay alive. The player must maintain their character's health, hunger, and mood levels until the declaration of a ceasefire, which occurs in a randomized duration. This one's gonna get emotional here, folks. Contra Rogue Corps is a run-and-gun twin-stick shooter. The gameplay utilizes a mixture of side-scrolling, third-person, isometric, and top-down perspective shooters, similar to Neo Contra. It's got a single-story campaign, multiplayer online, cooperative, and 4-player local co-op. It is largely PvE gameplay with dual analog control sticks. Players configure a main weapon and sub-weapon in real time. These have unlimited ammo, but also a heat meter to be managed. Between stages, weapons are upgraded and uniquely customized, and as a last resort, the player can clear the area with a huge bomb or use the character's special ability. Tales Noir, previously known as Backbone, is a noir role-playing indie video game. It's set in a dystopian version of Vancouver, Canada, populated by anthropomorphic creatures. Tales Noir follows the raccoon, who is a private detective tasked with solving mysteries. You become a raccoon private eye, and you explore a dystopian city inhabited by animals as you uncover a deeply personal story of change and transformation. It's inspired by film noir, as the title suggests. It's weird, sci-fi, post-Soviet aesthetic, modern political regimes, and existential philosophy. It is linear, cinematic, narrative experience that subverts genres and challenges your perception of what it means to be a person. The gameplay is focused on storytelling and emotional expression, featuring rich and elaborate dialogues inspired by old-school CRPGs. In Call of the Sea, you get to explore and investigate a stunning tropical island brimming with fantastic sights, lost ruins, and occult mystery. You investigate the clues left behind by a previous voyage. You piece together what happened and solve a variety of clever puzzles. It's a woman on her quest to discover the truth of the disappearance of her husband and to find out who she really is. Nora is fully voiced by Cissy Jones from Firewatch, The Walking Dead, and Baldur's Gate 3. You get to immerse yourself in a story-driven adventure full of emotion, suspense, and surreal surprises. Call of the Sea. Great puzzles. Even better story. West of Dead takes place in Purgatory, Wyoming in 1888, a place of gunsmoke and darkness, sin and damnation, wendigos and witches, a shifting, chaotic world that takes its form from the memories, culture, or beliefs of the souls who pass through. When a dead man awakens with only the memory of a figure in black, he sets into motion a chain of events that have truly mythic consequences. Dodge behind cover as you try to outgun your enemies in the unknown, procedurally generated hunting grounds. I really love the art style. It reminds me of some of those Wii games that came out that were like for adults, doesn't it? Should be cool. And then the last game on the list is a Paw Patrol game. This is for your kids. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but this is what it looks like, and this is what you are expected to play. That's about it. I'm not going to get into this anymore. So those are the games, and I would recommend Call of the Sea, Road 96, and the Plucky SQUIRE. And if you have the heart for it, This War of Mine. Those are my top picks to play from this whole video. But overall, not bad. Not a lot of crazy good games leaving next month. We'll find out next week for sure. So until next time, be a friend, and I'll see you again.